Hello everyone, I'm Bo Yang from University of Central Florida. It's very nice to present in Esri Imagery and Remote Sensing Educators Summit 2021. Today I'm going to talk about our NSF project, the Participatory Drone Mapping Program for Coastal Management and Research. I want to mention this project is one of the first attempts to use UAV remote sensing to assess the seagrass condition along the west coast. We all know that the seagrass habitats as a very important component for the coastal ecosystem, affords lots of functions and also a critical host for a variety of the animal or the marine algae. Traditionally, we use different kind of remote sensing method for accessing the coastal ecosystem. Those include the satellite remote sensing. Although the satellite can retrieve the historical data and have a temporal revisiting cycle, but its spatial resolution is relatively coarse. The aerial data, on the other hand, can provide very high spatial resolution, but it's very expensive because we need to rent the airplane and hire the pilot. The UAV remote sensing has been developed really fast in recent years. It is similar to the aerial remote sensing. It can also provide a very high spatial resolution, but it might need some extra work for the image processing and data validation. Here is some example for compare the different data source. We can see from the satellite, we can barely see the seagrass bed's boundaries. So if we look into detail, due to limitation of the resolution, we cannot see the detailed distribution or the shape or the texture of the seagrass meadows. The drone image, if we're mapping on the low altitude, we can see if the water turbidity is good, we can see the seagrass blades very clear. And if we're using some software like Esri Drone to Map to stitch the drone imagery into a bigger, like also mosaic map, we can see the seagrass spatial distribution and also the spatial texture very clear. So that's an advantage of using the drone for the very high spatial resolution. So this is a collaborative project, and our group at UCF is responsible for the UAV remote sensing and geographic fieldwork. So our monitoring sites is from Alaska down to San Diego. We have different sites along the entire west coast, and we collaborate with our local partners to collect the drone data for the entire U.S. west coast. And we have one more site in Canada, which will be mapped by drone by our collaborator in Hawkeye Institute. So here is an example. So we went to the site and we will fly the drone. And because you know when we fly in the drone, we might need more the reverse correction and registry image registration. So as a result, we use some of targets like buoys on the water surface, and we also deploy some of the red buckets on the land to use as a GCP to do the georeferencing. And also those targets can enhance increase some of the variability on the image, so the image can be well registered over this area. And also we will collect some using the high performance GPS to collect the ground control points to increase the location accuracy. Meanwhile, when we fly in the drone, that our research partner will collect the in situ the biological sampling data, includes the disease detection, qPCR, eDNA. This can as a ground truthing. And here is a comparison between we can see this is a very high resolution of the UAV mapping, and compare with the traditional the satellite data. It affords the very high spatial resolution, very detailed histogram, and offers more performance when we do the classification and image segmentation. Another part of this project is the citizen science research. So basically, after we're doing the mapping, we will also train our local partners they will, for each of the site, we will train several people for flying the drone, and they can help us to collecting data when we are not there. So after first round of initiation, our research partner can continue to collect drone data, high resolution drone data for us. So here is our training modules. It includes like the basic drone setup, how we can manually fly, control the drone, and use the automatic mapping software. And also there is the training material includes some basic GIS processing, like how we use the software like Esri drone to map to stitch drone imagery into a big also mosaic map. And also we leave some self-study, like 10 to 20 hours self-study for them to prepare for the FAA Part 107 license, so they can independently fly the drone and collect data for us. The training is basically carried out during the fieldwork, but also afterwards, our partners got a lot of practice using the drone to collect the GIS data as well. So here is some example collected by them, and we can see after training, they can collect a very good drone imagery. And we use some online, like the ArcGIS online, to share those data and perform some online analysis. Here is a feedback, like the training survey right after the participants take part in the drone training. And we can see they got a very high score on the drone course organization, and they are not that confident to fly the drone independently. But remember, this survey has been taken just after the first year of training. That time they just took the training course and not feel very confident. That's understandable. But right after that, during the COVID, the second year, we cannot travel to the sites. And everyone, after rounds of learning, they all of them get very kind of comfortable to fly the drone, so they can continue to collect data for us. This is some screen like photos during the 2020 when we cannot travel. Our partner in Washington, California, and Alaska, they all can collect the drone data for us. So we have summarized this kind of drone training efforts and make it as an open access, like the journal. And this kind of effort has been highlighted as a journal cover story. And also we make our training course available as an open access training course online.